So array is a collection or group of elements of same data type. Okay, so here we have already discussed about variables, correct? So in the variable you can store only a single value, correct? If I declare int a, okay, if I declare int a, then in this a I can store only one value. For example, I can store only one value. It can be since it is declared as integer, we are storing integer value. But if suppose if you want to store more values, okay, 500 50 values, more values you want to store, then you have to use the concept of arrays. Okay, in arrays you can store more elements but of same data type. That means if you are storing integer values, then all 50 values should be integer. Okay, if you are storing floating elements, then all the values should be floating values, okay, of same data type. If it is character, then all the elements should be of character data type. There are two types of array, one dimensional array and two dimensional array. So what about one dimensional array, or it is also called as a single dimensional array? So elements are stored in one row or one column having one subscript. Okay, so one element will be having one subscript. So syntax is shown here. Okay, so this is an example of array integer of type integer. So this is the size of the array. 5 is the size of the array. You can have any size, 150. Okay, so this is the size of the array. So what is an array? Array will be something like this. Okay, so this is the name of the array A. Okay, you can store 5 elements. You can store 5 elements. Okay, and they will be having the index 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so here you can store 5 elements but of type integer. Since it is declared as integer, you can store only integer 5 values here. Okay, so these are called as subscripts. Okay, subscript. Okay, so under one subscript you can store only one element. So like that you can store 5 elements. Okay, so subscript usually starts, it will start with 5. Okay, and it will end with 5 minus 4. If you are storing 5 values, then the end subscript will be 5 minus 4. 5 is your number of elements you are going to store. That is the size of the array. Okay, is it clear? So how to initialize? Okay, how to initialize a one-dimensional array? Okay, see, so we have studied initialization of the variable, correct? How do you initialize a variable? A is equal to 5. So this is initialization of the variable. But now how to initialize an array? Okay, there are two ways, at compile time and at run time. So there are two ways. So first we'll discuss about compile time initialization. Okay, so this is compile time initialization. So while writing the program itself, we are telling what are the values of the array. Okay, so here int a of 3, that means the size is 3, the data type of integer, and how many values we have? 3 values, 10, 20 and 30. Okay, similarly there is one more array b. So b is your array. How many values? There are 2 values. Okay, so size is 2, so it will start from 0, 0 and 1. Okay, so at the first position you are storing 1.1 since it is a floating point. Okay, in the second element is 2.2, which is stored at the subscript 1. Okay, this is one way of initializing the array. So that is during writing the program or during compile time. Okay. So this is so basic initialization. Okay, this is one way of initialization. There is one more way of initializing without specifying the size. See, this is one more way of initializing, but here we are not specifying the size. Okay, this is one more way of initializing. You need not specify the size. So this is your character array. Okay, so you can store only characters. Okay, we are not specifying the size. Okay, you can store any number of elements. Okay, so here we have stored only 4 elements. You can store any number of elements since we are not specified the size. Okay. So this is a partial initialization. Okay, this is one more way of initializing. Partial initialization. See here, we have specified size is equal to 3 and we are storing only 2 elements. Okay, here also the size is 5, but we are storing only 3 elements. Okay, the 2 out of 5 we are storing only 3 elements. The 2 space will be left, another 2 space will be left blank. Okay, so another 2 space will be blank. Only we are storing out of 5 we are storing only 5 elements, 3 elements. Okay, so this is one more way of initialization, that is initializing individual elements. Okay, so that is int a of 3. Okay, so initializing individual elements. So you are telling store under a of, so this is your array. Okay, a is your array. This is your size is 3. The size of the array is 3. So here 0, 1, 2. Okay, you are telling under a of 0. So if you are telling a of 0, a of 0 is nothing but this position. Okay, a of 0 you are storing 10. A of 1, a of 1 means this position you are storing 20. A of 2 is this position, you are storing 30. Okay. So next initialization is a runtime initialization. Okay, when you are executing the program, you have to enter the values of the array. Okay, we are running the program, you have to enter the value of the array. Okay, so this is called as runtime initialization. Okay, so array can be initialized at the runtime using for loop. So you are using for loop for initialization of the array when you are executing the program. Okay, in the program, first declare the array. The array size is 3. Okay, array size is 3. So this is your array. Array size is 3. Okay. Now look at this for loop. So you are telling I is equal to 0. So for entering the values, okay. So to take care of this index, we are using one more variable, that is I. Okay. So here I can have the value 0, 1, 2. So maximum it can take the value 2. So we are telling I can be less than 3. So I can take value less than 3. So this is our condition. Okay, I can take the value less than 3. So this is a scanf statement. So first I is equal to 0. 0 is less than 3. Condition is true. Okay, scanf statement is used for reading the elements. Okay, ampersand of a of I. What is a of I? I is 0. So a of 0. So you are reading at the position 0, you are reading the value. So something you can enter. I will enter 10. Okay, so next your I value will get incremented. It will become 2. Sorry, it will become 1. Okay, then it will check the condition 1 is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Then at the position 1, we are storing one more variable that you can enter. Okay, user will enter. So here I will enter 20. Okay, so at the position 1, you are storing 20. Again, the value will get incremented and it will become 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Scanf statement, you are entering a of 2 at the position a of 2. You can enter some value. I will enter 30. So this is how during runtime you are initializing the values of the array. So while executing, you are using for loop for entering the values of the array. So here we are not writing, okay, we are not declaring, we are not initializing the value at the compile time, but during execution of the program, we are entering the values. So there is a example. Okay, we have an example here to read and print the array elements. Okay, so you have to ask the user to read. Read means enter the array elements. Okay, this is what we have discussed just now. Okay, and this is for printing the array elements. Okay, this is for printing the array elements. Okay, so I is equal to, see here we have declared a of 10. You have declared the array size of 10. So 10 space will be declared. Okay, starting from 0, okay, index till 9. Okay, so 10 space will be allocated for the array with the name A. But out of that, we are using, enter the size of the array 3. Out of that, we are using only 3 size. Okay, only first 3 we are using. Okay, 0, 1 and 2. So that is why I is equal to 0, I is less than 3. So that is why in the place of 3, okay, previous example we have written I less than 3, but now we are writing I less than n. Okay, so n is the size of the array what the user will be entering. So I less than 3, we are entering some value here. I'll write 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we are using for printing the array elements, for displaying the array elements, you have to use a printf statement. Okay, so printf statement is same as same printf statement as you want to display the array variable, same way it is, but instead of just writing the variable name, we are writing a of I. Okay, so a of I means initially I value is 0, I value is 0, so it will display a of 0, that is 10, I mean 1. Okay, then we are using slash t. Slash t is nothing but for a space. Okay, and after that I will become 1 and it will display a of 1. What is a of 1? It is 2. It is 2. Next slash t, it will give 1 space. Next it will display a of 2. What is there in a of 2? It will become 3. Okay, next I will increment, it will become 4. 4 is less than 3, condition fails, so it will come out of the loop. Okay, so this is a simple example showing array, okay, showing array, reading of array elements and displaying of the array elements. Okay, sometime they may ask you in the exam, explain the concept of array, okay, and write a simple program for reading and printing the array elements. Okay, so this is a very simple program and very important program, okay, showing how to read and print the array elements. Is it clear? Any doubt? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
So this is one sample output for the program we have entered. Okay, so this is how the output screen looks. First it will ask you enter the size of the array, you will give, okay, you can give any value. I have given Okay, fine. We'll end the meeting. Okay, so we'll see the remaining concept in the next session. Okay, take care. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.